Hello, my dear Taurus. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time for the mid-month of July 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. You can see the order I read for at the community section of my channel, and I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. And thank you all for liking, watching, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I am so grateful for all of your appreciation. The reading can go both ways. The message is for the people who watch it. So if you cross-watch for another sign and recognize yourself as the main person in the reading, just trust your own intuition and you will get the message you need. For this reading, I use the Osho Zen Tarot by Deva Padma. I have been using it since 1995, and many of you have asked how I have learned to read a tarot in the way I do, and this deck has been my main source of inspiration. It is working with the wisdom of Zen and can be used together with the cards with Zen stories to get an even deeper knowledge of your situation. Now we'll make a shorter 5-card spread to make it more digestible for you. And now I will start shuffling your cards. Okay. So, my dear Taurus, here we have Rebirth and Thunderbolt. So it might be that you are going to go through something, or have been going through something rather shaking during this summer. The Rebirth card is kind of minor arcana death card, and the Thunderbolt card, it's about rapid or really intense life change. All of this is for a greater cause, of course. It's I'm sorry. It's for you to tag along with the divine plan. And so sometimes things need to disrupt in your life so that you will change. If everything is like ordinary, you are going to the store, buying food, cooking food, taking care of your children, sleeping, going to work, then everything is fine and you don't really have time for spiritual development. And that has kept humanity in a sleeping stage here with this camel for a very long time. We have been rather content. The 19th century was a time of great wars, but it was also a time of came a lot of relief when it come to like technical advancements, the phone, electricity, refrigerating, vacuum cleaner, washing machine, things like this. So we could go into a life where we didn't have to struggle so much. We didn't have to go down to the river to wash our clothes. We didn't have to take care of the chickens to get egg. We didn't have to take big blocks of ice from the lakes in the winter, store them underneath this from trees. I don't know the name in English. Sågspån in Swedish, but it's when you have chopped off wood, you are getting the spill material and you can use it for storing ice. And when you store ice, you can also have your own kind of refrigerator. But all these struggles are gone from our lives, so we have lived rather content, and therefore we haven't been really challenged if we haven't been in some of the great wars or things similar to this, and therefore there needs to come things sometimes that kind of disrupt our paradisic state so that we will be challenged and fulfill our life mission. So with the 10 Rebirth card, it's showing you being in this phase where you kind of content. Rome tried to make their people content by having great shows and other things to keep the order in the public so they could rule. But here is when we do revolution, we are not orderly anymore. We wake up and we do revolution because we see injustice in society, or we want to fight for freedom or for better wages or whatever it is, or just for we can't just be content with what we have because maybe we live in an abusive situation, or we are not happy at our occupation, or we don't feel fulfilled. So the raging lion is when we wake up and realize that we want something more from life. And the childlike state is when we kind of have gotten this, because we made this revolution, and we are more in peace together with our soul, and we kind of start to again just accept what happens, being content and within a peace and gratitude for all life. And then it kind of starts all over. You become dull again, get content, then something needs to happen that wakes up this raging lion, and then you will find contentment, and you know, this cycle. So I'm thinking you are in the cycle of the raging lion here. When we see the thunderbolt, something has happened that you might not like, but that is for your greater good, because this is divine intervention. They have first talked with you when you were in the camel state, kind of whispered to you and said, are you really content? Are you really happy? Is this what you are going to do with the rest of your life? And you just, yes, you want to be a good person, a good individual. You didn't want to, you know, open your gap and say, I want everything. So you try to be content, and you wanted to not strive towards too bigger goals or too much. You wanted to be this content person, but the divine wanted something else, because they didn't want you. It's like if you put a plant, I told this to some of the other signs, if you put a plant in a box, in a dark box, it's going to get the plant is going to get like lose its color, because it doesn't get chlorophyll from the process of meeting the sun's rays, but it's also going to start to search for ways out. And this is the camel stage, but on the brink of the lion state. If you would stay in the camel state, you would die in that box, and your life force, your prana, would wither away, and your soul going away like this. But life wants to strive towards the light. Life wants light. So you're going to strive outside the box, and the divine wants you to. Okay, it's like the flashes of light here, or the sun's rays, are calling you. And if you don't get out of that box by your own accord, they are going to kind of explode it for you, or break it open with flashes of light. So that might mean you becoming ill, so you can't go to that work anymore, and you need to figure out your life, or that you just can't tolerate something anymore. You get allergic to the situation that you're in, and you can't just take it anymore. So having some kind of nervous breakdown or something similar to that. It might also be like intervention in your life, the divine coming with very clear messages. For example, almost accident, or something else that shakes you, or something else that really wakes you up with a flash of insight. Okay, so I call the divine with love and light. And here we have creativity in the reverse together with the thunderbolt. So it seems like with the creativity, we have kind of that plant. It's the empress, the nature, basic for all economy, is being in that box, being contained in that box. And it's like an ongoing disaster inside that box, because you're slowly dying. So your natural forces is being held in constant turmoil in some way. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world. And here we have, moment to moment, thunderbolt, and this creativity card again. So it's something with the mother aspect, nature. We have lived in a world where we have started to see nature as our slave, like something we can steal from and leave barren. And we are kings, and we rule, and we get rich. But in the meantime, we are kind of killing off like our own roots to life. If we don't have nature, we won't be able to live here. It's impossible. But there's something else here too, because moment to moment. So if you have felt this and hopelessness for this situation, these are going to change for you, moment to moment. It's a change going on, and the divine forces are helping you. Okay, so things are going in the right direction. It might just not feel like that exactly right now, but it is going in the right direction. For some of you, you are dealing with a person that's utterly slow, or might not really have focus on what needs to be done here with Empress in the reverse. It might be you not having focus on what really needs to be done, that you're scattering your energy. It can be, for example, a person putting too much effort in their work, not having time with their love life or their family. It can also be a person doing everyday chores and not having time to put energy into their career that has that's your life purpose. So it's different things like this, and the divine sees this and can't kind of not tolerate it anymore. It's like you're in a hurry for some reason. Okay, so I call the 6 elements: earth, suppression, suppression, and the outsider. Okay, so Taurus, you are the Empress. You are the basics of nature, basics for economy. You have been a very great farmers and economical people like throughout history. And you got judged for it, both because the femininity in your nature, but also because your greed that came with your superpower. And through the eons, you have been humiliated and oppressed for both these 2 reasons. It's very different reasons, but they are still been your karma, and you have worked through it, so you have become very humble, very, very humble, so to the brink that you are now accepting to not be respected, to be put out in the cold, to not be treated with dignity, and you have suppressed your own natural instincts. But I say to you now, you have outgrown this, and you are perfect. You needed to have this experience of poverty and other things so that you could see the other side of your superpower, so you would be more wise. But now you have learned this, you can go back to your original strength, to the strength of being in tune with nature, and therefore being filthy rich in a way. It doesn't have to be with money, it can be in any kind of shape and form. But abundance, you Taurus, you have abundance, you have this as your superpower. But with this oppression, this natural energy can't come and make changes in your life. So the divine wants you to stop oppressing yourself. It needs to stop now. Self-acceptance, self-love, no more judgment on self, no more second guessing. You will still learn because other people will react badly to if you treat them badly or do things, but you don't have to think of yourself as a bad or sinful person. You're still perfect, even if you're perfectly flawed, and you're here to learn, and you do your best in all situations. No more is needed. Okay, stop holding yourself back. Okay, so where were I? I want all this to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Taurus viewers. We have the star card here coming up. Know that you are divinely guided. So I want my dear Taurus to have love in their lives. Postponement. Don't postpone love anymore. You might have felt blocked, like it's impossible to find love or consensus or creativity in some way, and you have kind of postponed your life to another time, living 40 years in the desert. It's not 40 years for real. It's just like, so you paint a picture for yourself that you have been overly content with things and not reached beyond. Okay, so you need to reach beyond. Don't postpone your life. Okay. Yes, love in their lives, and I want you to find yourself in loving relationships, innocence and past lives. So if you have problems with relationships, the answer will be fine in the subconscious of the moon and in your past life and in karma. So what you need to do is to put your light onto this. your feelings, like the great traumas, the great fears. You might have some kind of great fear tagging you along all the time, making you do strange things. It can be fear of loss. It might be fear of loss of specific things like your job. You might be fearing loss of loved ones, your partner, different money. So face this fear of loss that you might have. And stay with it, because it's memories that you are carrying on from a past life. And you need to stay with this and illuminate it. You have not done nothing wrong. You see this, the acceptance of this praying mantis here, and the beautiful connection. So I want you to look at your past life in the same way, like a peculiar, wonderful creature. So you have been in life that were beautiful and peculiar, and sometimes very traumatic and awful also, but still beautiful. So you came down here, you did all this, you went through this experience to become an illuminated soul, and don't shy away from the importance of these lifetimes, because if you shy away from the pain of it all, you shy away from like the whole essence to why you were there, because you were there to face this pain, digest it, and get wiser for it, wise. So if you shy away from your fears and kind of just try to wish they were not there and try to ignore them, you will also ignore the wisdom that these traumas and these lives were bringing to you. So you live them in vain if you are not heeding and taking in this knowledge right now. So it might be that nothing is really happening that's bad in your actual life, but you might still feel like a catastrophe within you. And it's just because these things want your loving attention. Your attention, this is the sun, you being the sun, the soul, putting the attention on what is here, like sun putting attention to humanity, it's love. And when you put attention to it, you will bring love into this situation, and the darkest spot here will also become light and illuminated and written down in your book of wisdom. So don't fear the reaper, okay? That's the song for you. Oh, exhaustion and thunderbolt. So you might be exhausted from repetitive catastrophes in your life, and these catastrophes are coming because they want to wake you. They want to repeat the trauma so you can feel the pain, so you can stay with the pain and digest it, and therefore get a new page in your book of wisdom. So don't be scared and don't hate this, whatever happens that kind of rubs you the wrong way, so the pain comes up. Stay with the pain. Don't do anything stupid with the pain. Just stay with it. If you can't tolerate it and feel like you're on the brink of you want to die, for example, put on a nice happy movie or call a friend. So don't drive yourself crazy with this, but stay as long as you can with this this trauma, because it's parts of you that has been deeply traumatized, and they need your loving attention right now to once again become a part of your soul and come to you with the messages, with this wisdom that they gained through this great sacrifice. So don't make their sacrifice being in vain, and welcome them home even if they're broken, because they need your love right now. So welcome home this lost soul parts, integrate them in you, listen to them, and become an enlightened person because of this. I want you to have creative success, the burden. Don't stress yourself out trying to accomplish things. Go with your muse, but also check, because sometimes we can be so scared of the thing that we are supposed to do, so we procrastinate all the time. We don't want to go to the place where we will find our illumination because we fear it. So it might be that you fear your life destiny, for example, and feel overburdened by even thinking about it. But if you just start doing it with not so much thoughts, just start writing, just start calling different companies to get the new work, just start dating, just start doing things without thinking so much about the end goal or the end game, then this will be easier for you. Some of you might need to reconcile also with some kind of adversary in the past. Maybe you need to be rubbed the wrong way again because you need to face more of your pain. So for some of you, it can be some kind of reconciliation going to happen. So creative success and be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. You see, I can't fool the divine here. They still want me to read for a very long time, even if I use a 5-card spread. But this works for me right now. So they are going to have their way eventually. But right now I want to try to make the reading short and precise. It's summer, so I want to be able to have time to be out in my garden and take care of my horses and be with my my family and things like this. So, but it's a battle of wills here. Okay, so I will tune in for a few seconds to your energy, Taurus, and this reading. So, my dear Taurus, here's your reading there. And in the bottom of the deck, we have 7 stress. So don't stress yourself out. Don't think so much. Just go and do the thing that you know you need to do. And try to stay with your feeling while you do it. Even if it's feeling of panic. Just do it without thinking so much. Feel more. Also, if you have something that's overburdening you, you might need to downsize the list, the to-do list. Take away things that's not necessary. Start to say no to things because you need your energy right now to digest this enormous amount of past lives that you have lived, and where these wisdoms haven't been able to come to you just yet. So this is your work right now, not all these other things. Okay. So here is you, Taurus, and this is your past, and this is your future. This is the past of circumstance, important people in your life, or the divine, how they have been working together with you. And this is the future of said things. This is you, and we have breakthrough in the reversed. So it's some kind of injustice or imbalance in some way. You are asked to jump from a 11-story building and you don't wanna. Okay, so with the breakthrough, I'm seeing ambulances. I'm seeing hurt soul parts that wants to come to you. So I'm thinking this is the jump that you actually need to take care of, being the ambulance to your broken soul parts, things you have in the shadow, things you haven't been able to face. So this doesn't have to be a sad thing. It can be a welcoming home of the long lost soldiers, the long lost departures, the things, the beautiful brave parts of you that have been mangled through eons of time. Breakthrough in the reverse can also be some kind of injustice situation between you and another person. So we'll see where it goes with that when I see these other cards. This breakthrough card is a Libra, and here you have Page of Swords. So Page of Swords it's your mind, and your mind has been both abused and misused, because when you came, you were born with this beautiful mind, and you knew the truth because you were fresh out of heaven. But other people, grown up, school, society told you you were wrong in your assumptions and in the feelings of the world. So you were taught that your foods wasn't they wasn't correct. And this was kind of fueling even more thoughts, because it was like you got delusioned by the reality that you saw. It was different from the reality that was within. So a society where people are supposed to be conformed into one shape and form is going to make people feel lost. And this was how you felt. You felt lost, and your mind is going overdrive to try to find a solution, how you can fit in and how you can apply your reality on the outside reality that doesn't seem to be the same. So this is driving you a little bit crazy, and you need to start to trust yourself. Don't drive yourself crazy, and stop thinking. Write things down, then leave it to rest and feel your body instead. Feel your body always. Walking through your room, going through to the car, sitting in the car, bicycling, walking, talking with a friend. Always feel your body, so you anchor yourself and you don't get like trying to rationalize things or solve it with your mind. The mind is beautiful. It's one of the beautiful antennas, but how we have misused it, have made it in this state where we see it here. We drive ourselves crazy because there's a lot of lies also in the world. It's not that people want to betray, but they want to brush things that's unpleasant underneath the carpet. So you get one signal from a person with their body language and another from what they speak, and this is also driving you crazy. So it might be that some person is obsessed with you in some way, might be following you around, checking your social accounts, or like making up a story. It might be you doing this also if you have maybe you have had a breakup with someone and you're driving yourself crazy trying to figure out what they want. It's like there's a strong connection between you two, and you don't want it to be there because how crazy it drives you, but it's still there. So you know that there's something here that you need to solve. And the next card is possibilities in the reverse. So you don't even want to look. You're really hanging on the fence with this, whatever it is. You don't even want to look at it. You don't have to engage with this person or this situation. It's not necessary. You don't have to do that. But you need to stay with the inside of it all as much as possible. Don't think, feel. Try to not make stories about this situation with this person, because the story means nothing. What means something is the feelings. The feelings are valuable information that's being stored in this frequency, and the frequency wants to come to you and be digested and understood. You don't have to understand it with your rational mind, but you need to welcome this and stop resisting it. Welcome the pain and let its very high vibrating frequency be delivered inside of you. So it's a lot of mindfulness and meditation. You can do yoga as well, walks in nature. Try to get in connection and stay in connection with yourself always. You can also find like some kind of mantra, I'm at peace today, or I don't mind what happens, and put yourself in a little bit of higher frequency so it's easier to digest the frequency of pain. Okay, so with the two possibilities, it's like you have been in some kind of unjust situation. You can't really cut the course with this situation. It seems impossible for you, but you can deny it, and this is what you're doing right now. And I'm not going to say that this is wrong. I'm just saying that stay with the pain of it all, stay with the feeling of it all. So you can deny this person or this situation the most as you want, but you need to take the information that is coded in this situation, and that you do with digesting the feeling of it all. So I'm thinking this is you putting up boundaries in some way towards something. It might be you putting up boundaries towards a person or a situation that drives you crazy. It doesn't have to be that the person is crazy or the situation is crazy. It can be it drives you crazy. So you don't want to know about it, but you need to tap into the craziness and see what's underneath there, because it's many past life memories lying buried in those in this craziness. You are reacting for a reason. Your craziness is having, like, if you would see from an above perspective, you would understand yourself fully. So try to, even though you don't see from an above perspective, understand yourself fully anyway, and just feel the feeling of it all. So this is the past of the circumstance or the person, and we have another page. So it's a fire page and a air page. And this is the fun of it all, like the light we get from this interaction, or from going after our longing, or following our dream. And this is in the reversed. So I'm thinking that having the fun wasn't worthy. It wasn't worth the price you had to pay. This is how you feel. So you don't want to engage in this craziness because it's not worth it. The rewards were less than the hurt, okay, but it's still valuable, okay, don't forget this, it's still valuable, even if you can't interact with this situation because the rewards are so low. You still need to know that since it comes for this general spread for Taurus, it's utterly important still, even if you want to brush it off like you have ants walking out up your feet. So you just want to get rid of it and walk away. But this is important, so you won't be able to just walk away. You just need to take in the information that comes and wants to be integrated inside of you, as far as I can see. And here we have courage in the reversed. So courage in the reversed. It's a lot of feelings and things coming here to me right now, so I will try to sort it out. The first thing I see is a person giving a lot of love to another person that's unreachable. It's like you can't reach them. They are so closed in their mind, so it doesn't matter how nice you are or how much love you bring to this situation. The consciousness is so low that this person is going only on, it's like a reaction pattern, like a person reacting to being attacked by a lion, or being in, like they are dying, and it's some kind of distress from fighting off death. So you can't really reach this person or this situation by normal means. You need to ask the universe for help for yourself and for this person or this situation, because it's above human capacity. And still you have this great tie to this person, so you can't really just sever yourself from the situation or just rise above. It's too important. So I'm sorry, it's like you're stuck in like this it's a trap you have for bears and foxes. It's hideous. It's like you're opening up, and I'm seeing it. It's like you're trapped in that and you can't break free. But there's a reason to the entrapment. It's a reason to why this situation yanks your chain, because it has such an important message. It's like a ghost is coming to you and saying, I have a message, but you're so scared you can't listen. But if you listen and you get the message, the lesson will be done and you will be free. So I'll read this breakthrough card for you. So this is what you're resisting right now, this breakthrough, because you don't want to, you just want to be free from the situation. You don't want to know about it anymore. The predominance of red in this card indicates at a glance that its subject is energy, power and strength. We have strength card here, also courage. The brilliant glow emanates from the solar plexus or center of power on the figure, and the posture is one of exuberance and determination. All of us occasionally reach a point when enough is enough. At such time, it seems we must do something, anything, even if it later turns out to be a mistake, to throw off the burdens and restrictions that are limiting us. If we don't, they threaten to suffocate and cripple our very life energy. So I think you have already done this with Justice in the Reversed. I think for most of you, you have already done this. It's in the past, kind of, but the residue, kind of the debris, the smoke from all her thinking, and the debris from the explosion is still there in the air, and you can't disregard it. You are not just to sweep it away, you are to take the information of the debris. If you are now feeling that enough is enough, allow yourself to take the risk of shattering the old patterns and limitations that have kept your energy from flowing. In doing so, you will be amazed at the vitality and empowerment this breakthrough can bring to your life. And it has already done so, but you are expecting yourself to be much more free at this point. You thought that you would do this explosion, the situation would end and you would be free and ready to walk into the new future, but it says you're not. There's still like a lot of things to be taught in this situation, so you can't just walk away. To transform breakdowns into breakthroughs is the whole function of a master. Breakdowns into breakthroughs. So depression into enlightenment, or breakdown of a relationship or a situation into understanding, things similar to this. The psychotherapist simply patches you up. That is his or her function. They are not there to transform you. You need a metaphysiology, the psychology of the Buddhas. It is the greatest adventure in life to go through a breakdown consciously. It is the greatest risk because there's no guarantee that the breakdown will become a breakthrough. But you thought you would just have this breakup or being done with the situation, exploding, and then there will be a breakthrough. But you are going through a break down over time. It's like, can be like the dark night of the soul, or walking in the valley of death, and you and this situation has become like ghosts, still attached to the situation, but death has come and taking everything away, but there's still some kind of bond here that's inexplainable, and this is haunting you, but it's haunting you for a reason, because it has wisdom to share with you. It does become breakthrough, but these things cannot be guaranteed. Your chaos is very ancient. For many, many lives you have been in chaos. It is thick and dense. It is almost a universe in itself. So when you go into it with your small capacity, of course there is danger. But without facing the danger, nobody has ever become integrated. Nobody has ever become an individual, indivisible. Zen or meditation is the method that will help you go through the chaos. So Zen is kind of mindfulness. To be aware, to be awake, listen, see, feel. Will help you through the chaos, through the dark night of the soul. Yeah, there it came. Balanced, disciplined, alert. The dawn is not far away, but before you can reach the dawn, the dark night has to be passed through. And as dawn comes closer, the night will become darker. So I'm not saying that you are in any danger. I'm just saying that the confusion might come in like a really thick fog, because you thought you were doing everything right. You denied the pleasures that you had in this situation because of the problems that were there. So you kind of say, no, this is holding your horses and pretending like you don't want to be in that situation anymore. And it's like the other part might be childish and not particularly helpful, and you feel hurt and done, okay? But this fog, it's still there, and it's confusing you, but it has a message, and it's not for me to know, it's for you to find out, okay? So I'm going to take a card for you from the Sacred Rebels Oracle card by Elena Fairchild, and it's this card. The word wants to be written. Yes, for some reason, when I said that you were refusing to go to work, I was seeing people going to a typewriter, but having this writer's block. I'm thinking I have been talking about this before. It might be that you have memories from times when the Taurus days, it's kind of Bronze Age, before the Bronze Age, and Bronze Age and before, so like 4,000 years ago, a little bit more, was the age of Taurus, and then you were rulers, and it's like you have memories from this time, and also from the breakdown of this time when Aries come, and you know, all these pictures, historical pictures, where kind of Mithras or someone else kills the bull. That was you being dead there. The golden calf in the desert, that was Taurus people being killed there. Cow people, as that's Hinduistic or Buddhistic people, or the kind of religion that were in Egypt at that time. So you have memories from this time, and many of you need to start to share this to awaken the world. But because of your low self-esteem that we saw, because how humiliated you have been when being dragged down from power, you now have a problem expressing yourself. So going and expressing yourself might be a big thing. It's like, imagine a person having the stage fright, okay, being nauseated and vomiting whenever you're going up on stage. You can feel that this is totally irrational. This person has a talent. Why are they so stupid being afraid of people? They need to, you know, get over it. But if you see the above picture and see that that person has been killed for doing exactly that, singing their songs of freedom or of love or of awakening, and they have been killed publicly on a stage, then you would know. So you need to understand your fears, but also know that they are irrelevant, because you are supposed to break through them and, you know, go and do that thing anyway, and break free from the impostures of the past that try to hold you down. Okay, so that's the big speech. Now I'm going to read the words wants to be written. 42. You might have been taught that creativity is something you have to work hard to access, or that finding your life purpose is so difficult that you must search high and low for it. Yet what you are is within you and wants to come out at every available opportunity. So you don't have to search for it. It's the natural essence of you, the things that you hide from people, but you really should reveal because you have so much wisdom. You don't have to struggle so much. It is more about allowing space for it to manifest and to let the energy flow. The real struggle is not in finding something. It is more about letting go of the idea that you need to search for your path in the first place. You see, the process of activating your life path is a natural one and an inside one. The effort is in getting out of the way, not in making something happen. It's like letting your natural essence flow. For example, I was working a big industry, being CEO or manager of industry, and I have laid hard for myself my whole life. I never dreamt of becoming a fortune teller, okay, but it was something I did every day in my whole life, to interpret my own dreams. And I never knew, I took it for granted. I didn't even see it as anything important, just something I did for my own amusement in my private chambers. And look at me now. So I'm not saying I have reached a high level. I just found myself. As for being yourself, that is the foundation from which your true life path will reveal itself. Being yourself becomes easier when you give yourself permission to love, honor, and accept yourself in all circumstances, especially the ones where you might be tempted to reject and judge, because you can feel the praying eyes of others maybe and think that, oh, this, no one can understand this but me. Make them understand. Share your wisdom. Then there'll be more wisdom to choose from in the world. Instead of just consensus about one thing, let there be a diversity of truths. Let people find their own paths. So give the information you have. It doesn't have to be correct from all different angles and aspects. It's correct for you, and the people who needs this information will find you. Give the sacred rebel within the opportunity to decide your values. irrespective of whether they meet with the general social acceptance. This oracle brings you the message that what you are dreaming of or seeking to do, create, live, or manifest is actually very natural for you. That is why you want to do it. If you experienced controlling and manipulative forces as you were growing up, you would have found it hard to access your natural state at the time. Those two children here that you can see. Some of you might be in a twin flame relationship with someone that you, from your perspective, is somewhat difficult. You would have been too busy trying to adapt and get through the trials of childhood. When you finished navigating childhood and started to let go of who you were taught to be in order to become who you really are, you may have found your life path was not easily accessible. That is simply because your true and natural self was covered by layers of shame from the early conditioning that you had to be other than you are in order to win love or be acceptable. And you don't have this only from childhood. You have this from thousands of years of living on earth, different lives, okay? However, the natural self hasn't gone anywhere. It is still there within you. Now it's just about chipping away all at the walls of shame, perhaps with a defiant, who the hell cares? I am here. I'm going to love myself exactly as I am. This allows you to risk bearing the feeling of any shame that arises as you release old emotional wounds and break away from any restraints to unconditional self-love. The sacred rebel within can empower you to love yourself no matter what, simply because you want to. You might decide to declare, I am still lovable, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, so it doesn't matter how other people feels about you. It matters that you accept yourself. Accept yourself, accept yourself, accept yourself. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you. And then you will be so strong that you will be able to follow your highest path towards your highest victory. This will send an energetic message to whoever shamed you in the first place, whether they meant to or not. Your message could be going to a parent, school teacher, sibling, friend, love, or anyone else that was struggling enough with their own shame wound that they couldn't help but dump it on you. You can be free to release that the shame is just an emotion, not a truth, and you can defy and hold it. And you can defy and hold it has ever had on you. You can defy and hold. I don't really understand that sentence, so I'm going to try to take the essence of that. You can be freed to release the shame, and it's just an emotion, not the truth, and it's not defying or telling you who you are, okay? So it doesn't have an effect on your ability to love yourself. This oracle brings you the guidance that you are now powerful enough to break the cycle. It is time to stop the shame and claim yourself in love instead. What you want to write, sing, dance, or become is you. It is natural. Drop your defenses, get into the grit, and confront the power that any old shaming has had over you. It's finished now. It's end now with you. Okay? So, my beautiful Taurus, I hope this helped. I want to invite you to my webpage, queenofcupstarot.se. I also want to welcome you back to my August reading that I will perform in the mid-month of July. So until then, take really, really good care and bye-bye.